Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me on my journey through the constraints-led approach for BJJ, Ecological Dynamics, and all that good stuff. My name is Sam Battlefields, and I am reviewing not one of my classes, but one of Aaron's classes today. Look, I've tried on a number of, Aaron's got buy-in to what I'm doing. I know he can see there's benefit to it. I'm looking at this again through a CLA perspective, and I'll give you the reason why. It's because I have found that I have restructured my thinking completely. I no longer look at techniques like a sequence of events. I look at a technique as a certain place in time that solved a problem, and so I then look at, okay, what's the problem, and then I try and fix that problem. So and I know that's starting to come across as a bit, I don't know, arrogant maybe, but I've genuinely sort of rewired my brain. So, and I'll give you a bit of a rundown of what happened today. But I don't want this to come across as a criticism of the lesson, from the perspective of, if anyone jumped into that lesson, it's an awesome lesson. All right, it's an awesome lesson, okay? From the critical aspect would be from the constraints-led approach side of things. So Aaron gamified the lesson, which was fine. He implemented games that worked for what he was trying to achieve. Anyway, I'll get to that. It was good. We had being that he takes Wednesday, he has more people on the mats than I have on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, which is, that's one of my. I chose those days because I want to spend a bit more time with my family, and there's a few reasons for that. But Wednesday seems to be a day that people come in to train, so we had I think 5-6 on the mats today, and so I don't know if this sort of affected it, but I liked what he did with the stand up. He went, we did essentially the striking game, first to 10, but he added a touch on the chest. So touch on the shoulder, touch on the chest, touch on the navel, 2-point shoulder, 1-point chest, 1-point navel. Great. And that was fun. Got to play it with Tom. Tom's another purple belt. And yeah, we had a great time. It was, it was good having someone else new there. And it was actually pretty funny because he's got this kind of hair that flops, and I'll be honest, it distracted me. It was quite funny because I see it instead of flopping, and I'm like, and yeah. Anyway, I got the first couple in, and then he got his range and just went at it, which was great. I mean, look, I was pretty happy with all that, but. From there, the blood's running a bit, and then we went into close guard. And, again, consider this a lens of constraints-led approach. So Aaron started talking to us about, instead of giving a task, he showed us what he wanted to do, what he wanted us to do. So instead of saying, I forget what the first game was, but It was something to do with like pinching your knees and like kind of getting to your side and holding them down or something like that. So what was it? Oh yeah, so whatever it was like the person on top in closed guard pushing forward, and you had to basically keep them away just with your knees, right? Just with your guard by kind of flowing your the inside of your thighs against their hips, right? Sounds gay as shit. That was fine, but again, it's like he's showing what needs to be done. He's saying, you know, you need to keep your thighs here, you need to do this, you need to do that. And again, like, as a, I don't want to keep saying it, so I won't, but if you show something and then that person has to do that thing, you're drilling that thing in like a dead manner to a degree. Like, yes, I am pushing forward, but I'm not pushing forward in a way that allows me to do a number of different things, or any, like, even if you constrain me to do, yeah, you got to push forward, but you've also got to isolate an arm or something like that. The key thing for that gamification is, it has to look like the thing that you're doing. Like, it has to resemble grappling. And when I'm just pushing forward, okay, it works a little bit, but there has to be something else there. I'm not sure about that first one, but the next one which was pretty good, because he did build this up, and I think the only CLA criticism I would have is that even though he didn't give a step by step, essentially every game that we did was a step in that process. So that would be the thing. Each game that we played was a step in the technique that he wanted to show. So that's not like, again, this is what I'm saying, like, as a lesson, that's actually really good. If you plop down in that class, out of nowhere, you would actually go, oh, actually, this is a good way of teaching this sequence of events. But the issue is that it's a sequence of events, right? So he's like, okay, now we've got to, you keep hold of them, and he's giving all these requirements, like hold their head, grab their arm, keep them down, as you go around, don't put your knee in front of them. All these kind of requirements that aren't the task, right? So again, like, in guard, you could be like, no, like the guy's trying to get away, and you're just trying to shut them down and stop them from getting away, right? Again, not really something you do in unless you sort of, yeah. Anyway, the person who has their back on the floor, they're trying to get away, and you're trying to make sure they don't get away, so you're sort of going after them. And part of this was, while they're coming, you unbalance them, grab their elbow or block their elbow, and just you can sweep them. And then the next thing he did was, all right, now that you've gone to sweep, now I want you to, like, as you come back, and he started sort of giving this sequence where you come back and you get in, and you put your foot in, and then you back out, and you're in butterfly guard. And it's like, the whole time, my brain, I'm thinking again, right? I'm not looking for the task, I'm thinking again. So I'm like, all right, so I'm pushing, and then I pull this, and then I put, and so when, okay, now I've got the, and I'm just like, I'm thinking again. I haven't done this in that sounds bad, but I haven't sort of had the little man running my brain as such. I haven't had that guy telling me what to do in ages. So there I am, like going, yeah, and then and when I do this, and then Tom's like, yeah, so just get your foot here. And I'm like, yeah, my foot doesn't go there when I'm in this position. He's like, no, look, and he's pushing my knee down in order to pop my, and he's like, no, when I've got my leg up, you can, and I'm like, bro, I can't get my foot up there, like, and he's like, no, you can, and I'm like, bro, I fucking can't, right? And then both him and Aaron are sitting there going like, no, look, you know, and they're literally sort of forcing my foot into this position. And I'm just like, hang on, let's stop this, guys. Like, let's just go back to the beginning part of this, all right? And then I reorganised how I was thinking about the task, right? I stopped worrying about the step by step that I was being given. That, you know, all right, now you get to here, and then when they are a bit off balance, you've got to get your foot in and then drag yourself out, and then that's the way to do it. I stopped all that, and I just went, right, his task is to push forward. My task is to get a butterfly hook in. That was it, all right? And guess what happened? So my task, as he was pushing forward, was to get my butterfly hook in. All of the stuff in between, I didn't need. Now, I'm not, like, sorry, when I say I didn't need, I might have used it, but again, I was being given a prescription to a problem I hadn't, like, to a problem that was very specific in nature. Like, they could get their legs in. Like, I could see that in that position that I was in, they could easily get their legs in because they can get their knee up to their chest, right? Again, I can't do that. I tried explaining that. They were literally pushing my knee towards my chest and then trying to punch my knee down and going, yeah, you can. And I'm like, let me self-organise around this. So I went back, and what I needed to do, all right, was, and, you know, there'll be an element of, yeah, but that's what we were telling you. Yeah, but that's not how it happens, or that's not how it's learnt, all right? But I had to kick him over way more that way in order for him to readjust in a way bigger way this way in order for me to get in. So me doing this doesn't look as slick as like, boom, I'm back, right? Me doing it looks like I've kicked someone that fucking far over that way, and then as they've come back in, I've got to make this big movement to get myself out the way. Here's the thing, I'm not averse to that. I don't care if I don't look as slick because I don't have the ability to move my body like that. But give me the task, I'll do the task. And that's where ultimately I felt like there was an element of, like, again, like, there was this linear method of teaching, and it was gamified, so, you know, there's a good hybrid of the two. But the way I've begun to learn, that's not how I learn. And this little guy, right, he gets in the way now. Like, he literally got in the way. If he wasn't in the way, if someone had said, so he's going to come forward, and as he's doing that, your task is to get a butterfly hook in. Alright? That's a task. That's a goal. Right? And if I didn't do it in the way that I did it, maybe I do it in another way. you know. But you need to be able to give those opportunities, see those opportunities for action. And I just don't. I think when this guy is thinking for you, you're too focused. You're too focused on the task at hand without seeing the forest for the trees. And I think I'll leave it at that. This is Sam Battlefields. Thank you for joining me on this much longer journey into constraints-led approach and ecological dynamics. Cheers.